Sports benefit your health. It helps you stay in shape, teaches you how to organize your time, boosts friendships and builds relationships. It's a fact that is widespread within scientific and social communities. In the Netherlands, a little bit over 1/3 of its inhabitants perform physical exercise 1 or more times a week. Many are members of a sports or health club or a team, and most of them exercise because it's fun. Only a few call it their profession or practice extreme endurance sports like marathon, biathlon, or cycle long distances. In the southern part of the Dutch province of Limburg, yearly, the Amstel Gold Race is held. The 251-kilometer-long road bicycle race, which is part of the UCI World Tour, is tough and selective, mainly because of the 33 hills that have to be climbed, some with angles as steep as 22%. Coupled with the narrow roads, strong winds, and the danger of crashing, it is one of the season's most nerve-wracking races. And maybe that's one of the reasons why many cycle enthusiasts are yearly drawn to Limburg to participate in the tour version of the Amstel Gold Race. With a choice of 6 different distances between 65 kilometers and 250 kilometers, every participant can fight the battle at their own level. The route map looks like a plate of spaghetti, with many loops tracing back and forth over deceptively steep climbs. Just a few kilometers off the route map, the Maastricht University Medical Center is situated. Like any other university hospital, Maastricht UMC has its areas of specialization, and those, unsurprisingly, focus on total health.
In the Maastricht University Medical Center, we like to do research from bench to bedside and the other way around. One of our special interests is cardiovascular research. We also like to work together with companies. That's the reason we work together with Synapse BV.
Synapse Inc. is one of the top research institutes in cardiovascular research, founded as a working group within the Cardiovascular Research Institute Maastricht. They have studied hemostasis and thrombosis for decades now, seeking the answer on the question, why and how blood clots.
The hemostatic system is a remarkable system. When you have a wound on your skin, this system prevents you from excessive bleeding. But you can also have a hyper-responsive system, and then the hemostatic system just works too hard. It works too hard so that clots can happen in your body. You can have a myocardial infarction or a deep vein thrombosis. But the system can also be hypo-responsive, and then you can suffer from excessive bleeding. Thrombin, the central enzyme, regulates this system. When you have too much thrombin, you can have thrombosis. When you have not enough thrombin, you can have excessive bleeding.
It is known that an inadequate oxygen supply to the blood, called hypoxia, increases the chance of thrombosis. Patients rushed into emergency rooms often suffer from hypoxia, which can cause additional life-threatening situations because vital organs can become damaged or even die because of the lack of oxygen.
In June 2013, we measured the effect of hypoxia on blood coagulation. And this study was not new and was not revolutionary, but the fact that we had a newly developed test and we did it in the Swiss Alps made it unique.
The atmospheric pressure decreases as you climb a mountain, which means that there is less air to breathe. Less air means less oxygen, so one breath take delivers less oxygen to your bloodstream, and less oxygen to your bloodstream is what made the Alps a unique location for the Red Meets White study. They used 2 teams, an active one and a passive one. The active one climbed to different altitudes and was tested each time before they hiked out and immediately after they reached the new stage. The passive one was transported by cable car from one stage to the other.
During the Red Meets White study, we found the first clues how hypoxia influences blood coagulation. And now we performed a new study. We wanted to investigate the effect of strenuous exercise on the hemostatic system. That's why we called the researchers again to gather around the base of the Kouberg to investigate cyclists that would perform the Amstel Gold Race.
30 clinicians, scientists and technicians of the Maastricht University Research Group once again built up their mobile research lab at a villa at the foot of the legendary Kouberg Hill. In the early hours of April the 19th, 96 volunteers each donate 18 milliliters of blood before they start their own Amstel Gold Race Challenge.
It's going to be tough. I cycle for 2 years now and I'm going to do the 150, so it's going to be a tough day, I think.
Well, I didn't have enough of as much time as I hoped to train, so I'm really curious how it's going to be today. But we'll make it, but it will be hard.
That it will be tough. It's a hard race. A lot of little hills. So when we are here, we have to do the Kouberg at the end. It will be hard.
Well, I'm a little bit nervous because I'm not very experienced at this hobby, so I have actually no idea. But maybe that's a good thing that I'm really. I have no bad expectations, no good expectations. I just let it be.
I hope that we perform a very nice study to find differences between the first blood withdrawal and after the race, and we hope to find differences because then we get some information how thrombosis occurs, especially after strenuous exercise. And the other side is I'd like to have a very nice day to cycle and to enjoy the environment of Maastricht and surroundings.
At 6:30, the first enthusiasts hit the road. A seemingly never-ending ribbon of cyclists cuts through the beautiful Limburgian landscape. The sound of 30,000 wheels echoes through the streets of cities and villages as the participants find their way to memorable hills. Overlooked by the ruins of the Valkenburg castle, the participants are challenged to give it all one final time before finishing on top of the Kouberg.
We finished about 10 minutes ago and it was amazing to bike to the finish with everybody. We were beside each other and we were just like overwhelmed to finish. It was amazing.
The volunteers may have completed the gold part of the study. The scientists of Synapse are still expecting them to complete the red part as well. Their heart rate and oxygen level is recorded and another 18 milliliters of blood is drawn. Now they know the exact levels of every participant before their efforts and afterwards. At the Synapse headquarters in Maastricht, all samples are collected and tested again. Earlier studies showed that vigorous exercise increases the risk of developing vascular thrombotic events and can result in sudden death during or immediately after exercise. The outcome of these studies is biased by several confusing variables, such as subjects, type of exercise, duration, intensity, and especially the method used for the evaluation of the hemostatic capacity.
During the Amstel Gold Race we found some interesting results. We found that blood platelets are far more reactive after the Amstel Gold Race than before the Amstel Gold Race. And we also found that coagulation factors are higher after the Amstel Gold Race than before. And even the immune system is hyper-responsive. And these factors all can cause thrombosis or are predisposing to thrombosis.
But why does the human body react as it does? In nature, everything happens for a reason, so the increased activity of the blood cells must have a reason too. But even after more fascinating conclusion of the Red Meets Gold study is the determined significant difference between female and male blood cells.
We found that women reacted differently to the Amstel Gold Race than the men. We found that the men showed hyper-responsive in platelets, in coagulation factors, immune system, but the women did not react with the platelets as much as the men. They were not hyper-responsive, they hardly react at all.
To try and explain this gender difference, Bas de Laat and his team came up with an extraordinary hypothesis, taking the Red Meets Gold study hundreds of thousands of years back in time, back to prehistoric man. Before our ancestors discovered a way to grow vegetables and cereal grains for food, they led a nomadic existence, gathering berries and other edible plants or hunting animals. Prehistoric hunting required strenuous exercise, and the pursuit of prey animals could cause wounds, for example, because of the struggle through thick vegetated landscape. Because hunting is assumed to be a particular male activity, it seems plausible that our male ancestors needed some extra genetic protection by being hyper-responsive to platelets and in coagulation factor, which causes less bleeding, therefore protecting their body against heavier damage or worse. In order to find support for his hypothesis, Bas de Laat met up with Professor Emeritus Russell Doolittle of the University of California at San Diego via Skype. Dr. Doolittle is head of the molecular biology faculty and known for his research on the structure and evolution of proteins.
It seems to me altogether reasonable that there should be an association between being able to run fast and to not run the risk of hemorrhaging and to have a great coagulation response. Proving it will be difficult, but the hypothesis seems to be sound.
We have come a long way, but there is still a long way to go. The Red Meets Gold study proves that the human body probably never stops amazing us, but little by little it reveals unknown sides. Whether the hypothesis made by Bas de Laat and his team is correct needs to be further investigated, but the lessons learned for modern man, and especially the male version, are clear. The human body changes in relation to exercise, inducing a prothrombotic state. Some people are more prothrombotic than others. It can be hypothesized that people that already have additional factors related to myocardial infarction, such as atherosclerosis, might suffer from an attack after strenuous exercise. Therefore, Bas de Laat is currently investigating whether their tests should be incorporated into a physical checkup for persons with predisposing factors. One thing is certain, the scientists of Maastricht University Medical Center and Synapse Incorporated are determined to continue their cardiovascular research, no matter where it takes them. To prehistoric times, the Kalberg Hill, the Swiss Alps, or much, much higher.